Hi, kids. How are you doing today? Look at this. This is like one of your Tic Tac videos or whatever those Insta tweet things are for you. But this one's going to be educational, not your typical, dance session that you guys like to do. But what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a variety of geometry stations. These stations are designed to teach about surface area and perimeter and what polyhedrons are. And you're going to watch this video, and by the time this video is done, you'll know what's expected of you at every station. All right? And so you already know a lot of what I'm about to cover, but when you're done with this video, we're going to have you take a quiz at each station or answer questions at each station. So I want to make sure that you are at least familiar with everything at the station and everything you're going to be graded on. All right? Let's walk through it. Okay. Oh, you know what? The stations, they are numbered on each desk, like station 1, and they go zigzagging around the room. Let me show you. Here we go. Okay. So this is station 1. When you get to the station, you stand in front this way, okay? Station 2, 3, 4, station 5, station 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then you come over to 11. Now you will start at the station you're at and just rotate through. Maybe I should start doing TikTok dances. Anyway, okay, so let's get started. All right, so here we go. Station number 1. This is a pyramid. You know it's a pyramid because you have a converging point. The base is a square, so this is a square pyramid, okay? Oh, the net. Now, this isn't a net for catching fish. Well, I suppose you can catch a fish if you scoop. Anyways, so this is a net, okay? And it tells you what shapes are required to form the faces of a polyhedron. So this is a net for a cube, okay? When you find surface area, you're actually finding the area of every face. So for a cube, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. And really, you just have to measure one measurement right here, multiply it, use it twice, because whatever the measurement here is, it's going to be here. Multiply that, length times width, and get the area of that. Then just multiply by 6 to get the whole surface area. All right? So anyways, that's a net. All right. A net, not the Mouseketeer. A net like geometry. All right. Ooh. Stamps. In this station, what you're going to do is you're going to make stamps with the various shapes. Okay? So this is a three-dimensional shape, and it represents a rectangular prism. This shape is a parallelogram. This shape is an equilateral triangle. And this shape is the pentagon. Okay? So when you get to this station, you'll probably be asked to make a stamp and then answer a question. All right? Don't forget to close the lid gently so it doesn't dry out. Here we go. Another polyhedron. This polyhedron is actually a prism. It is a triangular prism. Okay? And it has 1, 2, 3 rectangular faces and 1, 2 triangular faces. Uh-oh. Here we go. I better grab a ruler for this one. Running, running, running quickly, running swiftly, grabbing the ruler, running back. Here we go. Okay, now, this should look familiar. You might be asked to find the surface area or the volume of this. If you are asked to find the volume, then what you want to do is you want to measure its length, then its width, and then its height. When you measure, okay, if you're going to measure, you only need 3 measurements, okay? And you would measure from rod to rod. And so that would be almost 7. You could call it 6.5. All right, so we could go with 7 or 6. And you multiply that times this measurement, which looks like it's about 8. So you'd have 7, okay, and then 8. And then if you were finding the volume, you would get the height, which looks like it is about 11. So if you wanted to find the volume for this, you would do 7 times 8 times 11. That would give you the volume. Now, if you were finding the surface area of this, you would find the area of this face, which would be, you'd measure across it, and you'd say, okay, that's 8 centimeters across, and it's 11 centimeters high. So you would have 8 times 11, which would be 88. And then you double it for this side. Then you'd find this face. And you would measure across, that's 7. You'd measure up. Now we know that's going to be 11 because the other side was 11. So 7 times 11 is 77. Double it for this. And then you just do the top. Well, the top would be a width of 7, a distance of 8. 7 times 8 is 56. Double it for the bottom. Then add all of those up together to get the surface area. All right. Oh, look at that. Station 6. And we've got another net. This net is actually a net for a rectangular prism. This net is the net for a rectangular prism. All right, like a cube, the rectangular prism has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are the rectangles, and then usually on the edge you have a square or another rectangle. Okay? This, station 7, this is a cone. It looks like a pyramid, but it's a cone. And it's not for ice cream. It's just a cone. Circle base, right? The diameter is straight across the center. The radius is from the center out, okay? All right, next one. Ooh, I bet you know what this one is. This is a net. Number 8. When you fold this net, it folds into a polyhedron, which is a prism, a triangular prism. It has a total of 1, 2, 3 sides that are rectangles and 2 sides that are triangles. Oh, here's another polyhedron, number 9. This looks like a cube, but because it has rectangle faces, it's a rectangular prism, okay? And if you were going to find the surface area of this, you would have to find the area of this face, this face, this face, this face, top and bottom, okay? That's how you find the surface area. Now, in this case, it'd be easy because you just measure this face and then find the area of this face, length times width, multiply by 4, then measure here and figure out the area and multiply by 2 and add all of that together. Our old friend cube. Do you know how many faces a cube has? It has 6. If you wanted to find the volume of this, you'd only have to measure one time. You just have to measure across here, and then length times width times height. You know that this distance is going to be the same as this distance, the same as this distance. So you would have your 3 numbers to multiply, and you'd get the volume. Okay? Number 11. It's a blank piece of paper. My guess you'll have a problem to do. Ooh, station 12. This is a pyramid, a triangular pyramid, okay? Again, if you were finding the surface area of this, you'd only need to find the area of this triangle, multiply it by 3, because there's 3 faces that are congruent, and then find the area of the base. Remember, when you find the area of a triangle, you are multiplying base times height divided by 2. More stamps. Same thing. You've got a trapezoid, you've got a square, you've got a octagon, and then you've got this neat little shape right here, okay? So when you stamp out that little shape, they're trying to represent a polyhedron, okay? And you can tell it's a polyhedron because it's made three-dimensional, but this is actually a pyramid because these are converging points, okay? Those are all edges that converge to that point. This represents the base, so it's a square base. So this little 3D drawing represents a pyramid, a square pyramid. All right. Our old friend cylinder, okay? Cylinder actually has three faces. It has 2 circular faces and another face that wraps around, which is actually a rectangle face. Now, remember, when you are working with circles, the distance across a circle through the center is your diameter. The distance from the center to the edge is your radius. The distance around is the circumference. Okay? Here we go. Here's a net. This is a simple little net, okay? Notice that this net has 1, 2, 3, 4 faces. Its base is a triangle. When you fold it up like this becomes a pyramid, a triangular pyramid, okay? Triangular pyramids have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges, okay? 4 faces and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. Notice how it folds up into those edges, okay? All right. Ooh, little tiny rectangular prism, okay? Now, if you were going to find surface area for this, you would measure this face, all right? And it's congruent with this face, so you'd find the area for this face. You do length times width, and you'd get the area of that face. That area would then be the same as this face, and this face. So when you find the area of one face, you can multiply it by 4. Then you'd find the area of the end faces. These are squares. So you multiply, you find the area of the length of this, and the length of this. This times this gives you the area. All right? And then you'd add that, you double it, add them all up. Oh, here's a cube. Okay, here's a cube. Cubes have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, that wasn't very good filming. This is a cube. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges, 9, 10, 11, 12 edges. All right. Now, again, because this is a cube, if you wanted to find the surface area, you'd have to only make one measurement right here. And then you'd multiply the length of this by itself. So length times width. If this is 3, you'd multiply 3 times 3, and you'd get an area of 9. Then you just have to multiply 9 by 6, and you'd get the whole surface area. So the surface area is everything that makes up a surface. All right. Another net. Now watch how this net folds up. Folds up into a pyramid. The base of this pyramid is square. Ooh, 19. All right. Be careful, all right, that you don't poke yourself with this. All right. Now, if you were going to find the surface area of a square pyramid, all right, if you're going to find the surface area of a square pyramid, you'd have to know that you'd find the area of a triangle by doing base times height divided by 2. All right? Base times height divided by 2. You'd get your area, and then you just multiply it by 4 because you have 4 of those triangles. Then you'd find the area of the square base. Length times width. Measure once, use it twice as a multiplier, and figure out the area. Here we go. This is a three-dimensional polyhedron. It is a prism. It is a triangular prism because it has the triangles on the two sides as 1, 2, 3 rectangle faces. All right. Here's its cousin in blue. This is a triangular prism. It has the triangles on the ends, and it has 1, 2, 3 rectangular faces. Okay? The triangular prism, how many edges do you think it has? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh, here we go. Ooh, sorry about that. I imagine you're going to be asked to find the area of this rectangle, okay? Remember, when you find area of a rectangle, you're going to take its length times width. Length times width. Now, in this case, when you measure it, you would measure the distance from blue rod to blue rod. So from here to here is 11. Then you'd measure from yellow rod to yellow rod, which is 8. So the area of this would be 11 times 8, which is 88. Okay? Perimeter is the distance around here. And again, you just have to measure 8. Now, in this case, you could say, well, this is almost 7.5. You could say it's 8. Some might even say it's 8.5. But, you know, generally speaking, you want to go from here to here to measure your length. So this would be 8. Here to here would be 11. So you'd have 11 plus 8 plus 11 plus 8. Or 11 times 2 plus 8 times 2. All right, so that's how you find perimeter. All right, number 22. 22. This, again, is another pyramid. It's another pyramid. It has a triangle base, so it is a triangular pyramid. Next one. This is the net for a cylinder, okay? It looks like an elephant, doesn't it? Or a pachyderm. Anyways, the two shapes that make up a cylinder are circles, two circles wrapped up by a rectangle, okay? Nothing funny about that except for the pachyderm. All right. More stamps. All right. These stamps are mostly polyhedrons. They're going to represent three-dimensional shape, okay? This stamp is a polygon. It's a flat surface, closed figure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That there is a hexagon. This little gem, this one is a cube, a three-dimensional representation of a cube. It's kind of cool, isn't it? And you could count the faces of this, and if you wanted to find the surface area of this cube, all you'd have to do is measure one edge, which is 2 centimeters, and then you could do 2 times 2 to get the area of one face, and then multiply that by 6. Another shape that they give you is this one. This is a representation of another square pyramid because the points converge. You can see that you have your base, which is a square, and your triangular sides. Alrighty? And now the last one, is our good friend, rectangular prism. Okay? Alright, so let's move on. Oh, I'm stuck. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is another pyramid, pointy on the top, flat on the bottom. It is a square pyramid, okay? If you were going to find the surface area of this, you would be using the net that would unfold, so you'd have 4 triangles, and you'd have a square base. I'm going to find it. Where is it? Here it is. This is what the net would look like if you unfolded this. There's the base. It's a square. All the sides are triangles, so you have triangles. So really, if you're going to find the surface area of this square pyramid, you just have to figure out the area of one triangle, which is base times height. And when you measure the height, you want to measure straight up and down, okay? You want to measure straight up and down from there up, okay? So you would measure the base. In this case, the base is about 7. You'd measure the height right up the center. And the height is about 7.5. That's about 8. The height is about 8. So you do 7 times 8, which is 56. Divide that by 2, and you'd get 28 as an area. Then you'd take that 28 and you'd multiply it by 4, add the area of that, and you've got the surface area of this shape. So surface area is all of the faces. Surface area is all of the faces of the three-dimensional shape, okay? This net is the surface area of that pyramid, okay? I don't know where this goes. Oh, it's number 19 again. Ha! Number 19, prime number. Okay, so let's move on. This should look familiar too. Here's a good one. This is a cube. This cube, okay, represents a polyhedron. It has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. If you're going to find the volume of this cube, you only have to measure one distance, okay? And now, again, you wouldn't measure out to here. You'd measure from rod to rod, all right? So in this case, when you measure it, you could do centimeters, and it looks like it's about 15 centimeters. So you would multiply length 15 times width 15 and get the area of that. You would then multiply that area by all the faces, or 6, okay? Notice how this cube, okay, kind of creates that three-dimensional drawing that you stamped out, okay, when you look at it in different perspectives. All right, let's move on. Number 27, rectangular prism. This one's a little bit squattier and flattened out, okay? Rectangular prism. It has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 vertices. Vertices are the little corners here, right? Vertices are little corners, the pointy, ouchy things. If you're going to find the surface area, you could find the face. You could call this the front, figure out its area, multiply it by 2 to get the back, okay? Then you could do the right side, figure out the area of the right side, multiply it by 2, add it to the front and the back surface area. Then do the top surface area, double it so you have the bottom surface area, add it to the front, the back, and the left and the right side, okay? All right. Triangular prism, okay? It's made up of 1, 2, 3 rectangle faces and 1, 2 triangular faces. Remember, if you're finding perimeter, you're finding the distance around the object. Perimeter is the distance around the object, okay? So if you found the perimeter of this face, you'd be adding this plus this plus this. In other words, the perimeter of one of these triangles, it is 5 centimeters. This is 5 centimeters, the equilateral triangle, so the perimeter is 5, 10, 15. The perimeter of the rectangle face, it might even be a square, that is 5, and that is 5. So you'd have 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20, or 4 times 5. Okay? That's perimeter. Area is length times width. 5 times 5. Area of 25. All right? All right. More little stamps. Ooh. These are just basic stamps. You've got this one. This is a rectangle. Ooh, this one is a polyhedron. It's got quite a few sides. All right. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one. You might have to look that up on Google. Count the sides and look it up on Google. This is a triangle, an isosceles triangle. When you stamp this, ooh, it's got kind of a red stamp. Like that. Remember, when you find the area of a triangle, you find the length and the height. So you multiply base times height, okay? Base, in this case, is about 3.5 times the height, which is about 2. So 2 times 3.5 is 7. Divide 7.5, so the area of this is 3.5. Okay? And then you've got this shape. This is a prism. And when you look at this prism, it is a hexagonal prism because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges that form the two side faces, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rectangle faces. That's just kind of a neat thing. All right, so anyways, ooh, here's a pyramid. This is a KNEX pyramid. It's neat because this is a square pyramid. The base is a square, and you have a base that has 1, 2, 3, 4 edges, then 5, 6, 7, 8 edges forming up the sides. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 triangle faces and 1 square base. If you were going to find the perimeter of this square, you would figure out the distance from here to here and the distance from here to here and multiply. That'd give you the area of that. If you're going to figure out the area of this triangle face, you'd multiply the base, measure up the center, multiply, then divide by 2. So the area of a triangle is base times height up the center divided by 2. Wow. Okay, that was a lot of information. Hopefully now when I send you to the stations, you will be all prepared to get an A. You'll understand surface area and stuff a little bit better. All right, good job.